Hello everyone. Well, today's topic is an interesting topic because a lot of you who are watching this video might be going for an interview and you might want to understand how and what to behave like and what exactly to do and not do in order to crack that interview that you're going for. Well, fear not. In case you're worried, please do not worry, because here we are here to help you to make sure that you get through that interview successfully. Welcome to the topic of cracking interviews. Let's take a look at what is there in the agenda today. Well, we will talk about the importance of first impression in an interview, tips for cracking an interview, and the stuff which has to be carried while you're going for an interview. Friends, the first impression is very important in an interview. Whenever somebody sees you as an interviewer, for example, needs to make sure that you are the right candidate for the position that you are interviewing for. Hence, your first impression is the last impression and is the lasting impression. You should do all that you can in order to make that first impression really rocking for you. And you know how many times or how much time does a person have to see or make that impression? Hardly 7 seconds. So 7 seconds is all you have got to make the right kind of first impression. Well, it's important to research the company. If you are going for an interview and you do not know anything about that company, the hiring manager or the interviewer will think that you have not done your homework. Hence, it becomes very important. You need to look at the website of the company, study up the website in terms of who is the CEO, what are they into, how many branches do they have, what is the kind of turnover that they have. All of these information is something that you need to prepare yourself with. Hence, do your homework about researching of the company. Do as much research and development that you can about the company that you are getting interviewed for. Well, let's now take a look at match the job description to your skills. Whenever you go for an interview, it becomes very important that whatever skills that the interviewer is looking for, you need to make sure that you match up to those skills. Let's look at how. This really is a two-part step. You must read the job description very carefully and pick out the keywords. For example, if they're looking for a leader or a motivator or somebody who has great communication skills. Now, take down all these things from the job description and note it down. The second thing is, once you have a good understanding of what the employer is looking for, you can then match up your skills with their needs that they're looking at. A good way to prepare for this is to write down the key abilities, skills, etc. that the employer is looking for, and write down under each skill an example of where you have displayed that particular skill. For example, if the employer is looking for somebody who has great leadership skills, under that you need to prepare yourself where exactly have you shown leadership skills in any particular situation, in college, in school, or in your previous organization. This helps to connect better with the interviewer. Let's now take a look at how do you prepare your portfolio. Well, you may be dressed very well and really looking good for the interview. However, if you do not have a good quality folder to carry with you during an interview, it can be an image breaker completely. So hence, invest in a good portfolio or a binder wherein you can keep all your things like resume, extra copies of the same, some certificates that you might want to showcase to your interviewer. All these things need to be kept handy in a nice organized portfolio bag. Get directions and also plan your route. You need to understand a very important part of interview is that you need to arrive early at an interview. Try to arrive at least 15 to 20 minutes earlier than your scheduled time. This shows a lot of professionalism and also gives you the time to relax and compose yourself before the interview. Hence, it becomes important. You need to make sure you get your directions and plan your route or travel accordingly. If the place of interview is an hour away from your place, you need to understand which kind of transport are you going to take. Are you going to take the train, the bus, the auto rickshaw, etc. in order to reach there at least by 45 minutes, so that you have the extra 15 minutes on your hand to compose yourself. Well, it's important to dress for success. any interview that you are going for, you have to be dressed in a formal attire, which means for men it is formal shirt and formal trouser, good socks as well as clean socks, and a pair of nice black or brown shoes. The shoes need to match with your belt and the socks need to match with your trousers. For girls, it could be Indian formals or Western formals according to what you feel like wearing for that particular day. Please ensure for the ladies as well, you need to make sure you're wearing good quality shoes, and also they need to look clean and tidy. You need to put on makeup, and a bit of good hairstyle will always do the work for you. Hence, dressing for success is important. Take details of making sure that your shoes are clean, neat, full, minus all the stains. Your clothes need to be ironed. They do not need to look crumpled. And also, please make sure that you carry an extra pair of shirt so that in case you stain it, you can quickly go and change it in the washroom. Well, practice makes one perfect, and it is very important to not go for an interview without practicing. You can practice with any family member or a close friend of yours whom you're comfortable with, and try to practice what the interview flow will look like or sound like. This makes sure that you have done your homework and you're better prepared for the interview. Well friends, now we're going to discuss certain do's and don'ts for an interview. Please be very careful while watching this particular segment, because there are a lot of times we make certain small tiny mistakes and we don't realize it in an interview. So this particular segment will tell you what to do and really what has to be not done in an interview. So here they are. The first do is do stay calm. I know that interviews are very jittery moments and you feel butterflies in your stomach and you really feel nervous and anxious about an interview. Am I right? In the same way, you need to make sure that you calm yourself down. Try to do some kind of breathing exercise so as to calm yourself and compose yourself before an interview. The second is don't ramble. It's important not to go on talking a little too fast, or rate of speech has to be really in your control. Hence, do not ramble. Answer the questions in a proper tone with pauses. If in case you want to, you feel a little nervous at times, your rate of speech can also become very, very fast. So try to control and not rumble through your words. The next don't is don't ask too many generic questions. Well, why we are saying this is that the person who's hiring you should not feel that you've not done your homework properly. It just shows that you do not have listening skills and you have not done research properly on that particular job profile, or it could be a mix of both. The next is do not bring in your personal life. Now, your hiring manager does not want to know in detail about your personal life, your family members, your other relatives, etc., and what you have done and not done in the past. Well, a brief about it is fine, but if you go on talking in detail about your personal life, it gives a bad impression or a negative impression to your hiring manager, and hence it becomes important. Need to keep it very, very professional in an interview and not get into the personal zone. The next one is do ask when you don't understand the question. It's absolutely all right to ask the hiring manager in case you have not understood something, rather than answering in a negative way or not giving the correct answer. It's always good to recheck on that particular question. The next is do prepare a list of questions for the interview. This is always an great image maker, because it gives that you have taken the time to invest for this particular interview. It also shows that you've done your homework and that you're a professional. Well, what stuff to bring along in an interview? While it's important to bring yourself in an interview, it is also essential and important and imperative to bring certain important things which you should not miss out on while coming to an interview. Some of these things are: you should always have enough resume copies, nice folder or a good handbag, not a worn out handbag, some copy or a script for note writing. A water bottle is essential to have. Providing references is also something that you should be ready with in case your hiring manager asks for it. Mouth freshener, because you do not want to have a bad mouth odor while you're talking in front of a hiring manager. And some contact information of yours, like a card or something, would always definitely help while you're going for an interview. Well friends, to conclude this particular topic on interview skills or how to crack an interview, we have taken a good look at what exactly will make you have a first good impression on an interviewer, doing your homework, making sure that you have researched the company, what things to bring and not bring, also certain do's and don'ts that you need to keep in mind when you're going for an interview. I do hope you have enjoyed listening to this particular video as much as we have enjoyed teaching it to you. Well, if you are going for your interview, all the very best. Thank you for watching us.